Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the stream today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic... Oh, I forgot to get rid of those things. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I know I'm having a fantastic day. Welcome into the stream. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're gonna continue where we left off on Friday, and we're gonna have a good time doing it, ladies and gentlemen. The mysteries are unraveling bit by bit. So here we go. We're gonna load in, chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Dan looking dapper. Thank you. It's Ace Attorney Day. It's Ace Attorney Day, so I gotta have a suit on. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Okay, so where we just left off, we just finished one of Herlock Sholmes' great deductions, where we deduced that Sasato's dad came over to Sholmes' place and accidentally got knocked out because of a trap on the metal chest, where if you open it, you get punched by a little glove hand. All right. And I ended it like right after that ended, so it's a lot of context, but hey, why not? So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all? Wait.
Objection.
Oh dear God, it's not over? I thought it was over! I thought the deduction was over. An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. Chat, the deduction was not over. Oopsie poopsie. Mr. Sholmes. Ooh, this is the new music too. If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. Oh shit, dude, it's not even over. Ah, she is? From the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cap. No. It really is a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup. It must have been smashed when Professor Mikotoba opened the chest. Oh dear. So many things seem to have been broken here. But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put our observational skills to work here one final time then. What secret is Iris trying to hide? Found it. Let's see what this is, I'm curious. Ah, look, there seems to be more papers there. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an official Scotland Yard document. But why would Iris have... We must ask her. An official Scotland Yard document.
Take that.
Okay. Chronicles, of course, Impact. Yo. Oh, dude, this is new music. I gotta add this to my playlist later. Oh my God. You were attempting to abscond with that case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Oh no. I think I know what it might be. Yeah, it was this. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. And Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zeeks had gone missing. Clint Van Zeeks, yes, I do seem to recall. That some years ago, I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? Oh shit, so Sholmes didn't steal it, Iris did. You mean, it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... Oh shit, they're Clint's autopsy. I'm sorry. Oh. No, don't cry. Oh my God. Okay, can I read the autopsy though? I do want to see it. Boom. To hide the case file. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Deduction complete. Elementary. Now, if only I had ended Friday's stream right there, things would have made more sense, huh? Anyways, In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes. I'm sorry, Hurley. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Dude, was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? ... Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. Oh, right! Because didn't... Wait. No. I thought only the 3 visiting students from Japan were helping with that autopsy. The writing? Crisis, are you seeing this? Your father's writing? What do you really mean? ... Iris? It must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I mean, I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Father! Yeah, that's right. Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest? Mr. Nadahudu. Yes? Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. Bye-bye, Mikotova. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. Oh, God. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely. Ooh. We must use this opportunity to talk with Iris. And find out what's going on. Okay. I'm so sad that Iris is sad. I don't want Iris to be sad. But I feel like this is where we tell her dad's dead. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner. Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. That's one way of describing it. Oh, God. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside... Crisis. Oh, shit, dude. I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I'm here. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. And watching. Good. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name. His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day, that's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right? Yes. So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. The autopsy report. When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. Because it was the same writing you'd seen on your father's case notes. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd be allowed to even look at it there. So you decided to steal it. When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. Well, shit. And the signature on the corner at the bottom of the autopsy report read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. I see. Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided then and there that I'd write the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea that the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. I want to read the report, though. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I must apologize, Iris. Is that Sholmes? Yeah. This is really all my fault. Hurley? I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. To who? I know I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorey and apologize, I promise. Okay, but can I read it first? Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then, let me look after it for you until we get there. I want to read it! I want to read it so bad! I'm gonna read it right now. I'm gonna read it right now. I don't care. I always do this with evidence. Okay. Name Clint Van Zeeks, coroner, John H. Wilson. Male, 33, British. Time of death, 31st May between 9 p.m. and midnight. Observations. Death from a single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Additional notes, recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand, but no document in corresponding ink was found. That we gotta keep in mind. Autopsy findings. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. John H. Wilson. Interesting. I must go and water my herbs, I think. Is it herbs or herbs? You know, they are British. I'll see you all later. Oh man, she's so sad. She's so sad. Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. The burbs. It's burbs. What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh dear me. So, you've noticed, I see. But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Mr. Sato? You've turned as white as a sheet. I think she's about to say what I said. Because wasn't the only ones who were present during Clint's autopsy, it was the Gories, or like Maria and Courtney, and then it was the 3 students from Japan, right? I don't think Dr. Wilson was there, was he? It's the autopsy report, Miss Naruhodo, the one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. What the fuck? No way, bro. There's no way. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. Oh! This writing, it's my father's. What? Professor Mikotoba's? Indeed, it's true. And now you know. My dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. Oh my god, no way. So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fellow. Pray take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Of course! He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Your partner, hold on. I need to think. Hello, young brownster. Dick balls, thank you. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what's about the supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Oh, you've come straight to the point, I see. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. Hello, Joel, how's it going? Huh? Okay, that's creepy. Huh. How do I respond to this? They don't go by that name anymore. I don't know how else to respond to that, because I don't know who you are. What the hell? Oh my god. That is creepy as hell. That's so coordinated. That's like 3 people. That's like 3 or 4. Eyebrows are being thoroughly raised right now. Eyebrows are being thoroughly raised. I'll hydrate though with some coffee. Maybe we'll just turn on emo only mode for a little bit. I don't. Thank you, Softenoff, for the follow, but I'm very confused. Because I believe these people probably know me in real life, but I don't know who they are, and I'm very concerned. And I'm trying to play the Great Ace Attorney right now. Nuh-uh. That just reminds me of the meme. But if I eat that apple, I'll be punished. Nuh-uh. The snake is nuh-uh. Stop capping, Junior. Let me pull up. I know where you live. The music's very fitting at the very least. What is going on, Joel? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, dude. We hung out. Oh, Joe? Well, your tag on StartGG is Joel, so that's what I've been calling you. But I'll say Joe if you want me to. Rister, can I ban them? Don't. I'll say hold off. Because I don't think it's being done maliciously. I think they know me IRL and are trying to mess with me a little bit. It's creepy as hell. I agree, though, Crisis. I agree. It's very creepy, actually. Wow. Jeez. Interesting. I don't know, chat. I wouldn't really want to talk about my private affairs on stream like this that much. Can you play the game? I'm gonna go back to the game. Here. I'll do this. I'm gonna go back to the game now. And I'm gonna not... I'm gonna refrain from talking too much about my private affairs on stream right now. For right now. If this is you... If you guys who are in the chat right now are like IRL people and you want to know something about my personal life because you know me in real life, message me on Instagram. Or like text me if you have my number or something. But like hit the gritty. Gritty completed. What's your number? Listen, if you know me IRL, you already have it, all right? And or my Insta. Anyways, I'm now going to be returning to playing the game. So, I thank you guys, but it's very creepy. I don't know, Crisis. I'm gonna move on though. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna ignore it a little bit. Okay. Deep breath. In and out. He was a truly trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? By the way, Crisis, just as a parting note, if they get a little bit too out of hand, you do have permission to time people out. You have permission to time out if things get more out of hand beyond this point, all right? Are his notes really inside that metal chest? Jeez, pay attention to us. I'm talking about chat. I'm paying attention to chat. I just don't want to talk about something so personal. Absolutely, my dear madame. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. Dun. Upon my word, Miss Nodohodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you. To my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Dude, they really... Oh my god, that's... Okay. So, what I was thinking was a little bit wrong. Okay, what I thought was Yujin Mikotoba and Dr. John H. Wilson, I thought they were the same person for a minute, and that Iris and Susato were actually like half sisters or something. That doesn't seem to be the case, but I was right on that Mikotoba must have been Sholmes' partner. Professor Mikotoba! Oh my god. Okay. Abusing mod. I told them that they could, and you guys are making me uncomfortable. Sholmes and Mikotoba. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? Wait. No, my dear. I'm still my old self. Yujin Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Oh, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right. So I decided I need someone to share lodgings and the expense, and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. My lips are so chapped. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for a little gain. And in the situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you become rather familiar yourselves, the Professor killings. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising, given the circumstances. Last time I checked on Rister was a Roblox Red Dead Redemption game. Was this tourney you speak of? Wait, what tourney? Which tourney? The Cheese Bowl number 10. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. That's just amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. Yeah, she must be off her rocker right now. Father. Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is... You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Of course, I'd almost forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Okay, well, let's talk about John H. Wilson, dude. Is this supposedly... Yeah, dude, you participated in it yesterday. What? Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. I kind of gave up on Smash since my PG stats is horrible. I don't remember competing yesterday. We have the VOD. What? But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you. Ah. Wait, was I right? Upon my word, Mr. Zoto. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too, if it upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. Oh shit, I was right. What? What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris... Oh, there it is, Susada-san's ice-cold stare. Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is? She's ready to throw down. She's ready to throw down. White boy. You think I'm gonna believe that for a second? Bro, I played through the entire Danganronpa trilogy. People used to come into my chat with fake spoilers all the time. This is not my first rodeo with people fake spoiling me. There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot just before she... no, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Show him, say something, man. Is she gonna throw him? Oh, he's out. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. Holy fuck. Alright, I'm turning on emo only mode, man. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Like, I don't... If like, I understand that these people are probably my IRL friends or something, or someone, or whatever. But, like, it's still very uncomfortable. You know? It's still very uncomfortable, I must say. Why, my dear madame, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot! Bro, what is this song? But Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. Jesus Christ. Joel, just look at the Rat Global YouTube channel. Just look at the Rat Global YouTube channel, Joel. Those VODs have been uploading all day. Everyone is
Good nom nom nomming.
pressing me right now. It's crazy. Here, Joel, just look at the VODs. They're releasing today. All right. You haven't changed one iota, have you? Oh, God. Hydrate. I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years. And when I opened that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all this. Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you, completely. I don't think Mikotoba is a bad guy either, so... Susato. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle. And in reaching a decision. A decision about whether to go back to Japan, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself.
Joel, you don't see any of your names because that particular VOD hasn't uploaded yet. The VODs are uploading from 2 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. Yours will go up eventually. Just check that channel back every 15 minutes.
It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
This game is named Resolve. It's the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Something tells me that's gonna be important. Ooh, wait, that's the end of the chapter? No way, that's the end of the chapter. Holy crap. Oh God, final. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, we're going into the final chapter. We're going into the final chapter. Holy crap. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh shit, dude. It's the last chapter! Let's do it. Final chapter. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The fact that it's just a simple cursive writing after all the grand art on all the other chapters, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. Oh, there's no Sholmes thing? Oh, wow. All right. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Dude, they've got like a whole new soundtrack on us right now. What the hell? The time's finally come. Today, I got, oh my God. I have to... Ryunosuke. I have to change the title of the stream because we're on chapter 5 now. I'm not answering any more DMs. All right, here we go. Slow mode? Yeah. Let's turn off emotes and turn on slow mode. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mr. Sato. Mr. Sato? Ah! Oh, I got thrown. Oh no! What's the matter, Miss Naruhodo? Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry, of course! I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet, then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. Chat, I know that you're just trying to mess with me, but do you guys know how uncomfortable you guys are making me right now? I mean this in the nicest way possible, but can you please shut up, chat? Like, it's so uncomfortable. Susato-san isn't her usual self at all. I'm just trying to stream right now. That's hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention... good morning, sir. Lord Van Zeeks! Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. But I want to make out with this man. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, anyways. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. So true. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point. The Reaper? I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. So that's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod, to wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by the dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. What case are you on? I'm on the last case of this entire game. When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginary public. Have you done the Ace Attorney Professor Layton spinoff? If I did that, I would want to play the Layton games before that, you know? But I've never played a Layton game before. He was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, But I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Hey, Iris. Oh, Iris, when did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Hurley loves it. He says it helps him clear his head. I thank you. Oh. That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris. Oh? Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not. What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Scythe's laboratory. All right then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh, yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes, it's a Lucky Charm. A little Hurley that I made once. A Hurley? It looks more like a Hairly to me. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. You think what we'll need is luck? If what we needed was luck, we'd pull off its feet, not its ears. I just need to peek inside the courtroom. And it seems very different to normal. Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? Oh shit. I don't know. He was out all night and he hadn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikotoba out all night too, do you think, Mr. Sato? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all. They? Father and Judge Jijoku, I mean. Judge Jijoku too. Jigoku. I've been saying Jijoku. I don't know, that G might be Jig-oku. I'm just gonna say how I've been saying it. That's right, nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday. Counsel for the defense and the court about the very session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once. Goku. Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie. Yes, thanks, Iris. And you, Mr. Reaper, I hope it goes well. Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing. Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now, Lord Van Zieks. Chat, this is where it all ends. Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Sogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. This is it, chat. This is it. We might finish the game today. Do you realize that we might finish this game today? The Old Bailey. Courtroom. Oh my god, there's like no one here. Feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing like knives from all sides today. Where's the judge? Oh shit. Ah, Miss Naruhodo, look! Oh my god! Lord Strongheart! Kazuma must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal systems.
The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak.
Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial.
It's him. Strongheart's behind it all, I think.
And one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
The 6 jurors' flames just...
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process.
In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart.
On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zieks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact.
Jesus.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. For the trial of Barak Van Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard.
Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about.
And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice.
Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't.
At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as a chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convict's escape.
Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson while investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound.
Oh, Gregson died? Yeah, sorry, Joe. Gregson is the victim in this case. Sorry. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday. That the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November.
There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes. Especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now. Also, they think Gregson was the Reaper. I should just drop that bombshell on you real quick. State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting. Ripper, Senative of Scotland Yard. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina, again? What's your problem, Otto? What's with that Gina again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Told me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking in for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about.
Very troubling.
That face. Lord Strongheart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report. Coming right up, sir. Here we go. Witness testimony. The victim's movements. I just had to open my soda, make sure it wasn't gonna blow everywhere. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't on it yet. What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too. Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets.
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into this matter. Von Zeeks went to a strip club? This can't be. We haven't heard anything about any of this. Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Barak Von Zeeks, was present.
It was a gay strip club. That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but Lord Van Zeeks has made no mention of this at all. In short, Lord Van Zeeks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. God, it's so scary.
Very well then, counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
God, Strongheart is fucking scary as shit, dude. The victim's movements. Hold it! So, you follow orders, do you, Gina? Nah, not me. I'm above all that, say. Oh. The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go and give Toby his grub, that kind of thing. So errands more than orders, then. This detective is still an apprentice, after all. Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigations into what happened. I didn't find much at first. Toby is the name of a dog. The first police dog. I didn't find much at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that hold it! So you went through Inspector Gregson's things? Yup, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into his office when no one was about. Of course, if anyone at the yard had seen me going in there, they'd have turfed me straight out on the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else. The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook. You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and his trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it hidden in one of his desk drawers that had a false bottom. That's impressive. Is it just me talking to chat, Yi? No, Crisis is always lurking. Ace Attorney streams are kind of underperforming the most of the week, but that's not a big deal because I want to play this game, you know? So I don't care. So then I went to hide myself and no one would find me so I could have a butcher's of what was written in it. Because if anyone at the yard had found me out, they'd have turfed me straight onto the street. Haha. I've given it in now though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would have never been found. I had to slow my heart rate. I'm here now. Oh, I understand. Don't worry. Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place? Yup. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Yes, I remember. But I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings. I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now. Aww. Can't have a panic attack when I'm the only mod present. I feel that. I'll show you what I can do. Go on, what's the arm? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Fuck you, Lord Strongheart. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked.
As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine.
No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Kazuma? There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive. Right then, I get to show off me reading skills. The grouse. Hold it. The grouse. What sort of a club is that? I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. Yeah, Gina's classier than that. But I am kinda curious. They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. Have you looked in the mirror recently? I tell you what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover. Could you though? I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out while I was in there. I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Cause she's a pickpocket. Oh my god. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it? Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower ranking detectives at the yard reckon. Says the even lower ranking detective. Hold it! So, how had Inspector Gregson come out to find about it in that case? That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so... And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself. Cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yeah. Anyway, the point is, something went on at that club, no question. You can't say that for certain, though, surely. What matters most is what there's witnesses that saw the raper. Hold it. Lord Van Zieks was at the club. He was at the club. Party turning up. He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then. Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the inspector's secret notebook, which led to him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably then there were also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there. None have been identified at this time, no. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. Oi! Why are you asking Inspector Lestrade, eh? I am real. So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with that ice-cold stare of hers, is she? Gina reading? You missed Gina reading, it was great. I really don't know what to make of all this. Lord Van Zieks told us he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident. You don't think Lord Van Zieks could have been lying to us, do you? That's not the only way to explain this. Oh, if everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere. You mean, there are details we've yet to uncover? Exactly. A clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for here. Okay, fellow orders, secret meetings. Okay, so this is what we uncovered. It was called the Grouse. Hold on. Okay, I'm curious. Cause like, cause why would Gregson have gone to there? Cause he was at, we know he went to the Red-Headed League though. Oh, I'm not sure. Gregson's pocket watch, identification. Interesting. The Asogi papers, Gregson's trunk. Oh, maybe that. Wait, a passport. It was issued for travel to France. So why would he go to the thing? Wait. Can I look at Sholmes? Yee! Okay, anyways. I'm thinking... I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna present the passport here. I'm gonna try presenting the passport. Speen.
Objection.
Not that, then. I'm gonna keep trying. Oh, God. God, he's so scary. He's so scary, man. Jeez, do you see what he's saying? Whatever fate befalls you in here, no one outside will ever know. Should I be wondering if I'll make it out of this courtroom alive? Okay.
Objection.
It wasn't that, so it's not about the Red-Headed League either. Seemed a little questionable to me. Oh god. Oh my god. He's so scary. Dang! He really hates me. Joined to fill the English channel with tears. My god. It had to be something with this. I think I have to present on here, for sure, for sure. Okay, dude, I'm a little curious. Huh. I don't know, chat. Fuck, I'm already getting fucked up here. Interesting, interesting. Okay, the smuggled goods deal is gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse. Dude, I'm lost already, man. Wait a minute. I never examined this. Wait, hold on, real quick. I never examined this. He's got one of this dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. There's a tear. What is this? Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse. I'm gonna literally start crying. Oh my god. Yokohama departure, 11 September. Ah, that's the boat Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jijoku came on from Japan, isn't it? I think it's called on Dunkirk. Okay. To think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I'd agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, wow, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Nadahodo? Did I imagine it, or is that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Holy shit.
Objection!
Hold on. Hold on. I need to load and then do that again, because I wasted 2 hearts with that. I wasted 2 hearts. Hold on. I wasted 2 hearts. God. I can't believe I just examined that. I was so lost, and no wonder I hadn't examined that yet.
Objection!
Mr. Mice not examining a piece of evidence the moment he gets it? What's wrong with me? I've been replaced, dude. Okay. I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? This is Rimster Mice, not Rister Mice. The police are currently looking for evidence, but they haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean that the police Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all.
You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it?
A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here!
Let me see that! This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy.
The other side, my lord.
Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse.
Objection!
Objection! So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port.
The ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. Ah!
The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, on 31st October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hadn't yet docked on British shores.
That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Bend over. The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion. Very well.
In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on 31st October.
The passport.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim?
Bro, what, Vam? Huh? I just read that. What?
Dated 31st October. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country!
Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized.
The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there?
I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean, you knew about this? The prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? Yo, Kazuma. And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be.
What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi?
A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Yeah, double it up, Chrysos, if that's okay. Maybe just like for the rest of the stream.
Let me guess, this was your intention from the outset, was it?
The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper! The Reaper?
Order, order! What on earth are you saying, counsel?
The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper! So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. Barak von Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast-iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice.
And you claim that was Inspector Gregson?
Howdy. What the hell do you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never have done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zieks. You know, the true Reaper is somebody else. Barak Von Zieks is not the Reaper. All right, Crisis, ban them all. You can put in an unban request if you want to. I told them so many times, chat. I told them so many times. So many times. To stop. I told them so many times to stop, and they never did. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I can only time someone else so much. They made me uncomfortable talking about something I don't want to talk about. So get the hell out, you know? I'm tired of them. That was a personal attack, man. It's fucked up. I don't appreciate it. Anyways, back to the game, shall we? A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
Oh, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel?
Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Chijoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it.
You okay, bro?
Dude, these fuckers in my chat, man.
Do I have to beat him up?
Yeah.
Bet. I'm gonna kill you.
We abandoned them all, so
Oh.
yeah.
Well, so they can't hear me then, can they?
No. Well, they could hear you. They just can't type anything in the chat. But just don't threaten to kill anyone. That's kind of fucked up, dude. Oh, Crisis says hi, Breadcat.
Hi. Matthew, I do it for you.
Look at this sexy man.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I'd call that sexy.
What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were
Why does he
reported
have a
on board the
sword?
ship. He has 2 swords.
Why?
Every prosecutor and defense attorney in this game has had a sword, actually.
Bro, do you know what that freaking reminds me of?
Because they get
Freaking-
attacked in the streets, man.
You know what that reminds me of? Freaking Mr. Smith goes to Washington and tries to kill himself in the Congress room, bro.
Literally. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. Yeah, Crisis, if you could keep a watch on the Discord as well, that'd be appreciated. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mart. But his mission ended in failure.
Good nom nom nomming.
Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. Thank you, Brown Pap, with the follow. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. Eh? What? The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey. Mari's my ex. That's who they're talking about. That's all I'll say on it. There's that hydrate. You're lying! Even if all them bludgers were got taken out had it coming, the boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't...
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
I think Eva Veed is fine because I remember that name being in chat a long time ago, so. The Reaper's notebook. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates and places and stuff. And the last entry in there was 31st October. It said grouse for the place on that day and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Good nom nom numbing.
Thank you for the follow right there.
Keep personal opinions out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely. I just posture checked. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What can I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known
If he was working with the Reaper.
Ah.
So, who was to be this final mark?
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st October. Eh? Oh, how'd you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, alright, Otto? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read. Whoa. So it's someone from overseas? Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro. Seishiro Judge Shijoku was about to be murdered! Is it? Yeah, Seishiro. Jigoku, you, maybe? What? It can't be! Seishiro Jijoku? But that's Judge Jijoku!
Seishido Jijoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right.
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jijoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday, here in London. So I know for a fact the man hasn't been assassinated. As I said, the Reapers failed. Oh. Oh my god, what if the judge killed him in self-defense? Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake. So he killed the inspector, personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Barak von Zeeks.
It's an undeniably logical argument.
Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Barak! He's got his chalice. Oh yeah, baby! Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice whilst I stand accused of murder. Lord Van Zeeks! The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. Unequivocally. That girl is no detective. Eh? What? Nah, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard, reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
What did you say? Oh my god. Miss Naruhodo, this is our chance. My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness. Oh god.
Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination.
Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Fuck.
Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
At once, my lord. Cassie said she was gonna stream today, and she ain't even streaming. Well, maybe she'll stream later today. Alright. The Reaper's Notebook. Yeah. This notebook, I love you. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper. Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and that notebook said what he found out. If I may, when originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was the one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What are you on about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you at its head? I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse? Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate, alone. Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claimed to have seen you there. But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France. As shown by the passport found in the victim's mantle trunk. Very well then. Back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook. Fine. Is something wrong, Miss Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago. Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? What about it? Huh? Hold it. Interesting. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff? What in particular? Well, beside the victims' names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? It's the one I told you yesterday. The same name written over and over again. You mean Asa Shin? Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? Asa Shin, the assassin. What? Like a killer, you mean? Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them.
But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Ah, then perhaps what it said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been... clearly the assassin, who was meant to take Seishiro Jijoku's life? Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jijoku, what name was written? Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens. What? Well, you know, because Asa Shin can't really, Asa Shin can't be the one assassinating them anymore, because, you know, she's dead. Honestly, writing Mimi Memo has no idea how good of a service he did to the world by killing that lady. He has no idea what a good thing he did, honestly. Anyways, murder is bad, but it had like a question mark or something out here, I think. Is Kazuma even a good guy? I can't tell. That'd be crazy if he was like rigging the trial. That'd be crazy.
In other words, Gregson himself did not know the identity of the assassin in that case.
But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not? Oh, how infuriating. A nameless assassin. Okay. Hold it. And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jijoku? That's what it said. Funny name, if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd. So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jijoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature.
I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago.
You want to know my question? Why was the Reaper targeting him? What did he do? Was he the professor? Can you imagine how crazy of a plot twist that'd be? Oh shit, chat. Okay. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. Under your tutelage? That's sus. Pretty sus, pretty sus. Not gonna lie.
That bearded young fella was a very able man, I must say.
Bro, why is my OBS shitting itself? Hey, OBS, can you not? Thank you. I just asked you to not. OBS, you piece of fucking shit. God damn you, OBS. OBS is a piece of fucking shit, dude. Alright. So Lord Strongheart was Judge Jijoku's mentor.
If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his reparation was organized immediately. Repatriation, I don't even know that word. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think I was possible, but the mutiny has gotten even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking. Okay. Hold it. What do you mean a criminal? Judge Jijoku is no criminal. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jijoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the professor case, I'm sure. Yes, of course. You're right. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Dude, they were trying to assassinate him for that? It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it. But I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens. You did? It was considered to be an adjunct to the professor proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. that there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Shijoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the Mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. Come on, that's absurd! To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd? Killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But... damn. Objection? Objection! Right, I've just about had enough of this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Odo. Yes? Why ain't you saying nothing? What? Why ain't you yelling out objection or something? What? You gotta find a flaw. You do usually. Someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work out who it is. Please, for the boss.
Boom! That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective.
Oh my god, fuck you, Strongheart.
When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear?
I've had it with the lawyer. It's lies every bleeding place you look in this world, innit? Well, I've had enough. Gina. So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Miss Nodohodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Oh, do you mean... I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. Jesus. You helped me find my resolve. Let's go! Eh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency.
What? An inconsistency?
Oh shit, I didn't mean to, my bad. Sorry, Zeeks. Really, Otto? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... I think it was Van Zeeks. I think Van Zeeks said something that didn't make sense.
Take that!
Of course, by you, Lord Van Zeeks. Me? What? Your face has turned ashen. How could he know? Is that what you're thinking? No, this isn't it. This isn't it. If my face has turned ashen, it's because I'm thinking, how could he? I don't know where you're going with this, but maybe the evidence you're obviously about to show the court will clarify. Wait, was it right? Oh God, I don't know. I don't fucking know! Ah! Oh God! Sholmes, help me! Help me, Sholmes! What do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears with all my might right now? Oh my God, I wanna know! Chat, I have to do something drastic. I have to do something drastic. Create another save file. So I have a save before the person, and I have a save before the evidence. So if the person is wrong, I can go back. Oh God, I don't know. What did Van Zeke say? I don't even, wait, I need to read what he said. I need to go back and read. No, I don't know what I don't remember what he said. Well.
Take that!
Oh my god. Jesus. I've turned ashen. Jesus, dude. Oh, fingers crossed. What the fuck? Jesus. Okay, I gotta listen. I gotta listen again. I gotta listen. Holy shit. Wait. Okay, here's my thing. I don't think Van Zeke said the wrong thing. I don't think Van Zeke said anything wrong. Maybe Gina. Let's present Gina. My god, they programmed like everything. I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Chat, I'm gonna cheat. This is so fucking stressful. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't fucking do this right now. Holy shit, chat. Give me just like 1 second, bro. I don't fucking know. Final chapter. Witness Gina. Press all statements. What? Oh shit. Oh shit. What? Oh shit. That's right. We're gonna cheat. By you, Kazuma Asogi. Me.
Is this some attempt at filibustering, Counsel? Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony.
What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let Sunning slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done.
Very well then, Counsel, go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something a Prosecutor Asogi has said?
Take that!
I'm gonna cheat. This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson.
A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? A blood stain, and a relatively fresh one, too.
What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests the victim was traveling without luggage when he was killed.
That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report.
Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it, me, with me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport? But you knew it was a metal trunk! Answer me honestly, Kazuma. on 31st October. Where exactly were you? At the port of Dunkirk on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? Kazuma, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose. Oh no, Miss Naruhodo. Surely you don't think... Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it, beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day in the same place as the inspector. He was there? With Gregson? There's a clue you've overlooked! A secret that trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point. I'll need to verify it. But I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right.
The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify for the court where in this trunk the alleged clue is to be found.
Oh my fucking god.
Got it!
Got it! That's new! Oh shit. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. Damn. Okay, I'll save next time. I'll be safe next time. Okay. Ah! Oh god. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna save again in this spot right here. Don't worry. I'm not gonna fail that again. I was hoping never to let that happen, funnily enough. Holy shit. Where in the trunk? Oh god, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. For a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. Or is it not that? Come on, man. I could have sworn it was that. Because it's from the sword, you know? Oh! Oh! Oh my god, I see it! I see it! I see it! Oh my god!
Got it!
Holy shit. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it here in this courtroom for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer.
Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Ouchie like a Asogi. Ouchie. Like a hawk.
That won't be necessary. Holy shit. Oh no! The tip is broken. Ugh. If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed? Kazuma Asogi? Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved.
Do you mean to tell the court prosecutor Asogi?
Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. So the additional person authorized to travel was me.
And the mission was?
The assassination of the Mark. What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Shijoku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one.
Explain.
I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it. We can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Shijoku arrived safely in London the following day. On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan. You went to Judge Shijoku's cabin? Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked that ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house? In Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify.
Then what became of Jijoku?
Gregson was no assassin, so the Mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder. But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? I don't need to answer that. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. And accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter.
Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence.
As you wish, my lord. The great sword Karuma.
We must take immediate action now.
Oh, holy fuck. First of all, though, I need to examine the evidence. Sorry, Strongheart. I need to examine the evidence. Karuma, the great blade. It's such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze on it for hours. Just like Kazuma, huh? Is there anything in there? Anything on the sheath? Anything curious on the sheath at all? Maybe, perhaps. Let's look at the blade. The tip of the great sword, broken. It's such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Anything else? Nothing? Really? There's nothing else on the entire sword I can look at. Damn, okay. Interesting, interesting.
To verify whether Seishiro Jijoku remains unharmed.
What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Shijoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you.
Order! Order in court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes.
Now?
Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. If the man can be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Judge Shijoku! No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except that is... for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago.
I would have to agree. Miss Naruhodo, for the defense's sake,
My lord?
I sincerely hope we are successful. If we are unable to confirm Mr. Jijoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties.
Ah,
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
holy shit. What are we doing here? Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare. I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Shijoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control. I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careering towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options. Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear. Of course! The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ears or not? Normally the option is always do it, but I don't know. Here goes then. I'm going to do it. Good luck, Miss Naruhodo. No looking back. Heave! Ow! That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here. It's the feudal talking. Pull the ears again, Miss Naruhodo, as hard as you can. All right then, I'll put all my strength into it. Heave! Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse. The SS Grouse? She left Dover last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cabin to the station and by train to the port. And in order to board this vessel in time. So you mean you'd already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Herlock Sholmes. The world-famous great detective, baby. Recited to perfection, well done. You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it. Ow, 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 ow. Miss Susoto, gently with this genius's ear, please. Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. If I may, Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember. Oh, we're playing as Mikotoba! You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound compatriots utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. And if we're unable to present any new leads, then I'm afraid to say. Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall welcome news for you within the half hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Oh my god, we're playing as Mikotoba. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes, we have but half of that now before the grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin! Dude, no way! First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Why you are loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? Crisis, are you stuck in an ad right now, or are you seeing this shit? Do you not recognize... That says Sholmes on it. Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff when you see... Okay, so we had Beef Stroganoff, and this is his brother. Clearly, Chicken Stroganoff. Great detective? Huh, I don't think so. It says on the... Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo? That says Sholmes. I must say, while such adoration is flattering, naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now! How distressing. My little devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. And yet, I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. Oh, was that Mikotoba? I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jijoku. There is no one with this name on board. But we know that he purchased a ticket for passage. And arrived safely. You mean Easternman. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So Shishiro's realized that we're after him, has he? Whoa. Whoa. His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No, I have orders not to let even mouse inside. Mikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area. Doesn't great detective see that even sailors have ears, both left and right? Curses! The plan is ruined. And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Mikotoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man. So, the game is afoot. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is the alarm. This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. Set it off, baby. Here goes, then. Pardon me in advance. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. You! What are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be very bad problem. What's going on? What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. They all have identical names. Sorry, sir, nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me. By world famous. No, as I told you. Now, Sholmes, now. Done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gaping at my brilliance, Picotoba. In we go. Oh, yes. 3rd November, SS Grouse. First class, cabin, number 2. Interesting. Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there, they're Seishiro's without question. Those are his PJs. Well, it seems we are a little too late. Yes, but by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. But that burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may. Which makes this time all the more thrilling. Bum bum ba bum 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 bum. The wall is slightly different color just here, do you see? Indeed, what you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be. The elusive thief has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere. These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and or travel cases. Well, I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikotoba? There is nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. That's a very sizable trunk indeed. Seishiro is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though? Sadly not, it has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on the long sea voyages. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of Great Detectives, aren't you? I think Judge Shijoku is a bad guy, chat. I think he actually is gonna turn out to be a villain. As a substantial, I think he might have been the real professor. As a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirts, a dressing gown, momokiki work trousers, a tanzen robe, and a haramaki waistband. Clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. It looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry. Indeed, you can help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. Oh, I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I'd very likely drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy extras I need, I think. Bum 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 bum. There's a speaking tube here, look. Though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose. Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. I see here now how it's... Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy. Chilled drinks. Pardon? Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Gregson! Gregson! Well, it is a luxury liner, after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish products as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water. Kiss me, you fool. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. I think Jijoku killed Gregson. That's my theory right now. But I still think Strongheart is behind it all. This is the waste paper basket, look, and there's still some rubbish inside. Indeed, then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Is it bad I think they should smooch and I ship them? Not at all. Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. I mean, listen, Mikotoba might have a daughter. He might have 2 daughters, but he doesn't have a wife right now, all right? 3 days ago, the night before we arrived in London then, when I was still aboard myself. By the way, can we just talk about the fact that we are playing as Mikotoba? Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, fuck, I didn't read it. Yes, there was an evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. Wait, I wanted to look in the wardrobe, please! You are still here? Ah, Able Seaman Stroganoff, hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize. You are waiting for me. Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. Two daughters, 1 twink, no bitches. I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. It is all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now. Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the barring of the truth. Golly! I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jijoku has not yet left this vessel at all. And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you? How can you... Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you've worked it out? All of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my inimitable logic and reasoning? Nothing would please me more! Oh, they're so gay. Okay, I'm sorry. What is this? No. We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Time is of the essence! Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jijoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. Duh! That is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikotoba. Then please do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jijoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikotoba. It's been 10 years since we last did the Shomes, not 3. Why, of course it has, quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe, and the answers become clear. So, impress me. I think I can manage that.
Take that!
Take that! Take that! Oh! Oh my god! Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that the ice couldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Ugh! It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshment, Shomes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Seishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins are the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jijoku were accommodated on your way from your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right. Yeah. I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was, yes. 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jijoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. This is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Shomes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the darker deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. Dude, we've been seeing only, like, a mere half of Shomes' true power. Ah! I love them. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over here. The shape and size are a perfect match. Duh, you are right. When did frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Gah! Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? Oh my god, he killed Gregson! That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see, the projectile has been removed. Clearly the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you are attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you are talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying to the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense, as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Shomes. Ah, my dear Mikotoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that. What is that? Oh, shoot!
Take that!
It's almost too obvious for words. Quite, the universal language of the world. Money. Ugh. And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Jijoku, yes? Ugh. So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff, that you know where Mr. Jijoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Mikotoba, in matters of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely delayed blink, nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellow. So, is it the trunk? But there's no way he'd be able to lock it from the inside, right?
Take that!
Let's just present it, because that's what he's looking at, obviously. You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? The truth is, Seishiro Jijoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside the trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it will be in everyone's best interests for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? We don't know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jijoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about the combination code. Holy shit, that's not Sholmes at all, it's a number! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Huh? Now, Mikotoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk? But how on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number, remember. Quickly now, we have little time. What is that E? Oh, it's a 6, I think. Maybe. Oh, there's no 6. Sholmes. Oh, a 2, maybe? Yes, you're right, it is a 2.
Take that!
It's backwards. It's backwards. It's backwards. It's backwards. So I thought I'd try my birthday. Your birthday, interesting. Oh my god. You're dead to me! As measured as ever in response, Sholmes. Okay, no, it's upside down, I bet. Holy shit. Standing on my head. It's a Leon moment! They Leon'd me, chat! They literally Leon'd me! I can't believe it! It's 5, 2, 3. They literally just Leon'd me. 1, 0. 4, 5.
Take that!
Oh god. Click. Oh shit. That did it. It's open. You had to meddle, didn't you? Oh my god. Well, Eugen, you've found me now. Seishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wish it were some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've heard stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jijoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mr. Turba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here in this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are on very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available. So I purchased a ticket, and here I am. I've just seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you'd already purchased your return ticket before you even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence. Is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramification of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jijoku's trunk? I found this rather fascinating trinket. The pocket watch! What is that, Seishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what, I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. Holy shit. Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. You mean your daughter, Mikotoba? Damn, bro. That's how I know he's gay. Always focusing on the men instead of his daughter. That's crazy, dude. Kazuma Sogi, I know you. And I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. I feel like this chapter has just been... Guess what? All the characters you have liked in this entire game, they're all villains. I feel like that's what this chapter is. Oops, all villains.
During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jijoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained.
We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for immediate verdict. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. And the court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. There can only be one conclusion.
That the accused is guilty.
All relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still a crucial witness, from whom the court has not yet heard a single word of testimony.
In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible. The witness is already on his way and scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Seishiro Jijoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper.
Judge Jijoku, you found him? But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jijoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man?
He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions.
Herlock Sholmes.
Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jijoku on the night of his death, because along with Prosecutor Sogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jijoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on 31st October. I don't want a recess lasting a day.
Well, it would appear it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point.
The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jijoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered.
In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side?
No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth. Man. To be continued. Holy shit. Let's do the investigation, shall we? Oh my god, man. The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. The hell is going on? Why are they all evil? I don't know! Dude, the further I get into this game, the more I agree with Gina. That everyone is just fucking lying and cheating and evil and I can't trust anyone anymore. But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. Damn! Look at that meal. Oh god, no one open the trunk, please. We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I, no? You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in court earlier. So this prosecutor Sogi had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, it's incredible to think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. When all this started, almost a year ago now, Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. About the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France. Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes. So, what news of Judge Jijoku? We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotoba. This must be quite a shock for him. Oh yes, I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well. Oh, you had a reply already? What was so urgent though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present. Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone. Ah, and what a feast it is. If I were to none the wiser, I'd think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. Beans on toast! Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up. In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well. Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there. Huh? Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening? Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy. For me? That's right, I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey. Professor Mickey! I see, well that's terribly kind of you. Are you her father? Get Mori in here, get Mori in here. Yujin Mikotoba, you are the father. It's a shame, really. What do you mean? Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean. Oh. Iris, do you mean... yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened into the conversation you had after I tricked you all into thinking I'd left. She said that so pleasantly. What? Poor Sholmes. Not really, but poor Sholmes. The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris's father. Who? Who, man? Is it actually Sholmes? Yes, about that, Iris. You know, I know. You can't tell me at the moment. It's Barak. Oh, Iris. The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. Oh. Oh, no, that's quite all right. Okay, so let me get all this straight in my head. The reason that Iris thought that they were her dad was because she read the manuscripts that Mikotoba wrote about his adventures with Sholmes. And she assumed, I think, that that must have been her dad. Because why else would Sholmes be taking care of her, you know? But the reason, yeah. But yeah, she goes, steals the autopsy report, has the same handwriting, but it's Mikotoba's handwriting, sees the name John H. Wilson, and assumes that that must be the name of her dad. In reality, Dr. John H. Wilson was just an English professor, and Mikotoba was working under him. God, so neither of them really are her father, huh? And she even took on the name Wilson. That wasn't her name originally. She started calling herself that. Man. No, that's quite all right. Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant? So, just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. So then, let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious. Eat as much as you like. There are always seconds. This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan and about Kazuma. I can't let this opportunity slip away. Man. It's just Sholmes, huh? Okay. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, hey, I think Mikotoba's given his pheasant to you multiple times. I'm sorry. I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while I look on with hungry eyes. Ha. Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy. Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, can I discuss some things with you? Certainly, my dear fellow, I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt, you're hungry to learn more my deep love of game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. Don't. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. A telegram from Japan. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan, then? This? I thank my lucky stars that arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. The secret government message?! What? Those 4 names? We've come across that exact same list before. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. Ah! What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be a masking, monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. In exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of a message. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up again now? Yes, where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes? I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jijoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List for 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Nadahodo. Me? I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you? Oh, yes, I will do it, I guess. I'll sneak into the judge's office. Oh my god. And in my name? I wonder what guise he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean that mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent to Judge Jijoku. He was the intended recipient. I don't believe it. But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. Is it a hit list? I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once. Holy shit, this is getting so deep. Hosonaga, let's go! I love Hosonaga, dude. I wish he was in more of this game, low-key. I love doing his voice. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Burya. It was all for nothing. Cosmo wasn't dead at all. We were completely taken in by the lie you told us. Your great detective's lie. What if he had to do it to keep Kazuma safe? Because if that list really was a hit list... I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mr. Sato. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent from Britain in his stead. Oh my, you mean... The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you... Think back, Mr. Nadahodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? Ah, I can do his voice!
The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I am afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead.
My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it. But if it was all contrived, I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. Yeah, I've been talking about that since Kazuma came back. Like Nikolina Pavlova didn't get, like, executed or something, did she? What do you suppose became of her? Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. Thank God. Oh my God, like, for real. I seem to remember Mr. Sato and I had some rather strong words for her. Oh man. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I wonder if she made it to America then. Sholmes lied. People died. Oh my God. I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain? Because of Strongheart, I think. The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see. Oh. An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes knows. What? I have to present something? The Asogi Papers. Nope. Fuck. I don't know what to present him with. The pheasant. God damn it. Wait, what? Oh. Oh. Never mind. That's right, we're gonna cheat! It was the telegram. There was no room for doubt with your instructions in the telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Shijoku's office that should be searched, so you obviously knew that that's where the list of names would be found. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. But we only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now, and only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that. Approximately this time around last year, in fact. When you were both still in Japan. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others of intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. Motherfucker, Ashley Graydon did not die for this. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it. Oh my, Mr. Sholmes, what a fabulous line. Now, 1 month out of that list of full names was wired to the recipient Jijoku in Japan. Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partly correct and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected. Everything is fucking connected. As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names, because, you see, there was someone else on the list who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asa Shin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list. Ah, Kei Asogi and T. Gregson. Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly. So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes? Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I'd recounted many tales about Asogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. Oh shit, we just let that slip in front of her. But she knows it's not her dad, though. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know. Oh, Iris. I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No. But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Miss Naruhodo? Ah, yes. You mean about Asa Shin, I presume? Oh, of course. Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Josiah Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow, but I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel. Ah. And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Sholmes? I had believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Asa Shin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front. Which would of course explain why no motive could be determined for her actions. So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asa Shin is because he was the target of an assassination. And forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you? There is another among the 4. who subsequently became a visiting student. Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma? Oh, he did say in court earlier today. Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission.
And the mission was?
The assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now. Surely not. In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassination exchange. An assassin exchange? How could Kazuma possibly have gotten involved in something like that? Let's assume that we have two parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange. So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assistant is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Nandahudu, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction, thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels? These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked by not a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Seishiro Jijoku at all. It would mean Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Kazuma was here for Gregson? So Judge Jijoku wasn't actually the mark. Yes, that's exactly what it would mean. I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Mr. Sholmes. I told him of my fears and employed him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition, that he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. So, was Inspector Gregson the Reaper or not? Holy shit. Kazuma's a government assassin?! Is Inspector Gregson dead? Mr. Tix. Mr. Tix. You're pretty late on this one, man. All right, everyone, that's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day. Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time. Oh, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember. It is a little bit sad, though. I mean, I liked the idea of you being my daddy. I liked that idea, because then Susie would have been my big sister. I'm sorry, Iris. She can still be your big sister, I guess. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. Ah! Were you? But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Really? Oh my god. Oh yes, without question. You'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Runa to the floor? Oh shit. Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure. Hide my face. You didn't have to agree quite so readily. Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's going to be my big sister, you can be my big brother if you want, Runa. Well, here's the problem with that. There's this little thing called incest. And if me and Susato were to start dating, then that would be a bit of a problem considering she just got adopted. She did. Huh? I mean, yes, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Aw. Well done, Iris. Oh god, that means we can call Shom's daddy now and it won't be weird. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. Iris, I want to find out who your dad is. It's gonna be like Strongheart or something. I'm gonna work extra hard for tomorrow now, because it's for my big brother and sister. Why did you immediately go to calling Shom's daddy? I've got my priorities straight. What is all the talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what? You'll just have to wait and see. Oh. Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course. So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point, exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Joku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden, but at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon. Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly beside me. Dude, in game 1, he ended the first game by saying, I have the best friends in the world. Now, where he's ending game 2 with saying he's got the best family in the world. And the development there, man! To be continued. Chat! I'm gonna have to do something. Chat. Bum bum ba bum bum ba. Trial part 2. The final trial, ladies and gentlemen. The final trial. However, chat. That is gonna be the end of today's stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. Oh my god, chat. I know. Different judge, it's Lord Strongheart. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time we play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, we will finish this game. That I promise. I'm excited for it. Everything will be revealed. All the truths will come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay? We will find out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. The next time we play this game. So with that out of the way, we're going to be ending the stream here. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Crisis, I'm going to DM you about when I should actually do it next week. Because I don't know if you'll be free on Friday, but I want to do it Friday. Anyways, hop into the raid, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We're going to raid the Buzz. Since we actually have 5 people today, we have enough to do a raid. Hope you guys have a fantastic day today. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Farewell, y'all. Rister raids in the chat.
Yo, oh my, and we got a Rister Mice Raid. Damn, we got a hella raids going on here, huh? Let's go, baby, with the raid of 5. Much appreciated. Oh shit. That's my. Is that the force gun? No, the contact beam. Ooh. Ooh, baby. Let's see what this is. Go Rister raid. I hope you're doing good. Doing good in the motherfucking hood, y'all. As you can see right now, I am too sick. So my voice sounds awful. Ooh, okay. It's got like a sniper mode, like a machine gun mode, sort of. Man, that's why I'm playing this game, so you can chill. A very, 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 very rare not Smash Keeper stream. Oh shit. There's no, I was stomping on his ass and he got me. Alright, sounds good, Rister. You have a good one. I'm not going to Gomel. Sorry.